All right, we're at LaGuardia right now, and we're taking a hop over to Detroit. This is not a terribly long flight. In fact, about 436 miles. Something we're doing different on this flight. I've been very disappointed with the clouds on Xplane, and I'm looking forward to them fixing that. I have gone back to active sky. So the cloud formations you're seeing in this are, and the weather still is very accurate. Okay, so it's, if you go to active sky, it's actually still drawing the weather. It draws my sim brief. It's got my sim brief information. So what you're seeing is an interface that's got all my information in it. So here it is. The winds, everything's here. All the waypoints, the conditions. I can pull up everything. So everything's that we need for the flight is all here. Um, so the the clouds you're seeing are should be probably more accurate, but I was hoping that Xplane could kind of put that together. So Xplane guys, I'm giving you some time, get it squared away. So here we have New Jersey and New York City, and we're at LaGuardia, and we'll be taking a flight. This really isn't, I don't know if you really call this an instructional video, but you can always learn anything from what you watch. So call it a tutorial in the context of there's something you're going to learn when we're done. Okay. Well, good. I'll go through my routine now. We need to go ahead and get the nav going or aligning. I'm going to go ahead and bring up the APU. Bleeds on, and it is started. Beacons on, and the wings on. Strobe to auto, and nav lights are on. So taking down that, we're on APU power now. All right. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and get our flight plan loaded, because I will say this about A321-NEO. Toliss has done a good job, but when I go to the init page, see where it says init request, and I've already done all the footwork in the background. Send briefs loaded. We're good to go there. All I have to do is hit init request then, because everything's in the background. I've got everything back and set up. Bam. And then I tell it align IRS, and then it's working. It says it's got some time till it's aligned, so it'll take it a little bit. At this point, we want to go ahead and get Brian to get our IFR clearance to be sure that we're going out on the same runway that's in our plan. Runway 13 is what we have in our plan, but things can change. Brian, good evening. Can you go ahead and get our IFR clearance?
I'll get our IFR clearance now.
LaGuardia clearance Delta 308. We'd like to request our IFR clearance.
Give me 1 second for that clearance. Clearance at 112. IFR Smart Reach. Clearance. Clear to Myrtle Beach, radar entrance, white center files, my maintain 4,000.
Get our takeoff information.
Departure 120.8 squawk 154 and expect runway 31. Clear to 112. Delta 308 cleared to Detroit Metro. Radar vectors Gael, then as filed. Climb and maintain 4,000. Expect flight level 30010 minutes after departure. Departure on 120.8 squawk 1223. Expect runway 13.
And you heard that 13, so that's what we're looking for. Okay. So our V1 is 137. V rotates 146. And V2 is 149. Our flex temp is 51. And our flaps are 1 and UP 0.1. My fault. You got to do it a certain way. UP 0.1. And once again, if I try to put in 13, what if is it format I'm doing it? How about runway 13? No, that's not me. That's me. Okay. And now, if you look at our weight and balance, by the way, so we've entered our flight plan. In that flight plan, it's got our weight, passenger, but let's compare that to our flight plan. So our block fuel should be 16,919. There you go, 13. Passengers are 150, which is what that shows. Everything's right. Fuel on board, so fuel on board, air, cargo, total is 9,550. About 7. That's freight, air car, aft and freight. But anyway, everything looks correct. Okay. I take, by the way, I admit it, that I take a lot for granted, um, because it's a sim. I don't need to, but like some of the things that are on my checklist, like uh, anyway. Back to performance. We're looking for 2990 is our altimeter. And to the flight plan. So we know for our takeoff, we're going to be taking off on '13. Remember what the departure was that he said? Now I've got it here. I think I've got what I'm going out on. I think I do. Yeah. But he says here, so vectors the gale, then it's filed. So all right, that makes sense. To take the gale, to take the departure out. Yeah, that makes sense. So we're going to be taking this one out. So to go out, we have to take a certain path. And I noticed Stephen keeps us at a certain altitude. So we're at 4,000 until it gives they give us the go ahead. I think to go up. Okay. I've gotten to where I don't enter my arrival information early because I like to know that it's going to be the right runway. I've seen it changed more times, even in because we use ATC. That is based out of say Intentions. It still can be wrong. Okay. Brian, can you get us clearance for push and start? Oh, he's going to tell me no because you're not. He doesn't have. Okay.
I'll request pushback and start clearance now.
Delta 308 requesting pushback and engine start. Delta 308, pushback and engine start approved. Tail southwest.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
That is 3-1 right here. That's nice. It's convenient. Right? And this is where we bring in.
Some doors are still open for the GPU or the ASU are still connected. I'm waiting for all of them closed and disconnected, then I will proceed.
This is where we bring in our Delta. Ready?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Delta Sky Team and our global partners, welcome on board your Delta flight going to Detroit Metropolitan Wayne County Airport. As you're making your way to your seat, we kindly ask that you please step into your row and out of the aisle as quickly as possible. Allow those passengers
Okay,
behind you to
all
make their
doors
way
and
to their
hatches
seat
are
as well.
closed. Ready to
If you're
connect.
traveling with with a larger rollerboard, please place it in the overhead bins, either wheels or handles first, on either side of the aircraft. Keeping in mind that the overhead bin space is shared space, so if the bin directly above your seat is already full, please go ahead and utilize the next available space. If you brought in a second item with you, such as a briefcase, tote bag, laptop bag, backpack, you can go ahead and utilize that space under the seat in front of you, so that we can utilize that overhead bin space for your larger bags without having to check them plain sight to your final destination. Feel free to utilize your mobile phones, tablets, and e-readers while we're here at the gate. However, once we close our boarding door, you must please place these items into airplane mode or turn off your cellular service.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake. Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
If you insist. Ignition's on, engine 2.
Flight attendants, prepare your doors for departure, please. Cross-check and all call. Once again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome on board your Delta flight. So in just a moment, we'll be showing you a brief presentation on the safety features of the aircraft. And we ask that you please direct your attention to the monitors and flight attendant tiles, even if you are a user flyer.
Welcome aboard, and thank you for choosing Delta for 100 years and counting.
Delta. 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 Delta Airlines.
The health and safety of our customers and crew is our #1 priority and the shared responsibility of everyone on board. So, before we depart, please pay attention to this important message. Stow all carry-on items in an overhead bin and place smaller items completely under the seat in front of you.
Larger electronic devices must be placed in a bag. Handheld portable electronic devices, including mobile phones, should also be secured.
Keep the aisles, exits, and bulkhead areas clear. If you lose an electronic device in your seat, please do not adjust your seat and ask a crew member for help.
As we leave the gate, fasten your seatbelt by inserting the metal tip into the buckle and adjusting the strap so it's low and tight across your lap. To release, lift the top of the buckle. If your seat has a shoulder harness, attach the metal tip to the fitting on the belt. To release, push the metal tip down. Stay seated with your seatbelt fastened when the seatbelt sign is on, and keep it fastened whenever you're seated in case of sudden rough air. In the event of rough air, the crew might also need to buckle up for safety. We appreciate your understanding if our service is interrupted.
Federal regulations require all passengers to comply with all crew members' instructions, along with the posted placards and lighted information signs throughout the cabin. Smoking, vaping, the use of e-cigarettes or any smokeless product, including chewing tobacco, is not allowed on any Delta flight. Federal law prohibits tampering with, disabling, or destroying restroom smoke detectors.
There are 8 exits on this plane, 8 doors, 4 on each side. Each door has a detachable slide that can be used as
There
a
is
ramp.
a noticeable
In the
difference
event of an evacuation,
in the
leave all
clouds.
bags behind.
So this is
Any
active
baggage
X for
will
clouds,
stop the evacuation.
and it's day and
All
night.
exits are clearly marked with the green exit symbol. Locate the nearest exit, and remember, they might be behind you. If we lose power, lights will
Tow is
illuminate the aisles
disconnected
to
and
guide you
bypass
to an
pin
exit.
has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and
It's
have fun up
unloaded,
there.
but if cabin pressure changes, oxygen masks will drop from the panels above your seat and inside the lavatories. Reach up and pull a mask or streamer down to start the flow of oxygen. Remove any face covering and place the mask over your nose and mouth. Slip the elastic strap over your head and adjust the mask if necessary. Breathe normally and note the oxygen is flowing, so don't worry if the bag doesn't inflate. Be sure to adjust your own mask before helping others.
A water evacuation is also unlikely, but just in case, life vests are in a compartment beneath.
Ron,
or
for this
check
whole
into
flight,
seat.
you're in
Please
charge of
remove the
all
vest from its
comms.
container by pulling on the tab and then opening the pouch. Slip the vest over your head. Wrap the strap around your waist. Attach it to the buckle in front.
I'm in charge of the comms
and
now.
adjust securely around your waist. As you leave the plane, inflate
Right.
the vest by pulling
Let's look at
down
the
on
clouds
red
again.
tab at the bottom,
or manually inflate it by blowing into the tube at shoulder level. A water-activated light is attached to each
So
vest.
these clouds
For
aren't
children under
native
35 pounds, place the vest
Xplane
around their waist and
12.
secure the strap
These are
between the legs.
active X clouds,
See your
and I
safety
just
card for
loaded it,
more
but I've
information.
had it for a
Additional
while,
life
but
vests for in-lap
I'd
children
gone
are
back
in large
to
compartments at
Xplane
the front
12
and rear of the
native
plane. We'll
because
distribute these vests
a
if
couple of
necessary.
revisions ago it looked really good, but now I've switched back and I can see the difference in the accuracy too, and it looks good. Looks real good.
Or as otherwise indicated
Not sure
on the
the
placard in
Christmas
front
light
of
thing
you.
was there.
If you have a suite door, ensure it's open. See placard instructions inside the suite door for opening instructions in case of emergency. Finally,
Brian,
take a
are we
moment
cleared
to
to
review
taxi?
the safety information card in your seat pocket.
As we finish our safety check, please let us know if you have any questions.
As we take off into the future, sit back and relax. And from all of our crew, thank you for flying with Delta, today and for the next 100 years.
Delta 308, ready to taxi. We have information to send.
Delta 308, taxi to runway 13 via Echo Zulu Bravo Papa cross runway 22 at your discretion.
Runway 13, Echo Zulu Bravo Papa cross runway 22 at our discretion. Delta 308.
One thing, a difference I feel in the 737-800 and this model, or this the Zebo to this one, is the 737 taxis faster. Like it, you feel like you have more power. I'm not sure if it's true, but it seems like it. So we are, our IFR, our clearance, takes us up to 4,000 until we get the go-ahead, or 10 minutes after. But I think they're a lot more picky here. I'm using say Intentions at ATC, and they actually do a pretty good job. Okay, last steps on our checklist before we go. Flaps to 1. Speed brake armed. Ground. Get rid of those. Okay. TCAS is already on here. And I want this here. I love this on the Toliss. But I'll always. It's good to have a real heads up. You don't have to worry about having your view impeded. It's nice. Okay. Brian, we're set to go. Go ahead and let them know we're holding short and we're ready to take off.
I'll let them know we're ready for departure.
Have a speed brake at max. Okay.
LaGuardia Tower, Delta 308, holding short of runway 13, ready to depart.
Delta 308, LaGuardia Tower, runway 13, wind 060 at 12, fly runway heading, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 13, runway heading, cleared for takeoff. Delta 308.
Kind of sort of rolling start here. Forward pressure on the yoke. right rudder holding it in place. And the goal here is do not ski. Do not ski. V1 rotate. Positive rate. Gear up. Cool shot. Okay, and retracted flaps. Autopilot. And we're going to do what he says to get out.
I'd like to extend a special thank you to each of you, and welcome back to our SkyMile members and Million Milers. Your business and loyalty are greatly appreciated by the entire Delta family. For your safety, it's important to remain seated with your seatbelt securely fastened anytime the seatbelt sign is on. Even if the sign is off, please keep your seatbelt fastened in case we experience any unexpected rush air. We ask that you also please remember to use caution in opening the overhead bins to prevent injury to articles that may have shifted during takeoff. Now reaching out to bring electronic devices, and I receive that these devices can be found in the bag magazine in the pocket in front of you. On today's flight in the economy cabin, where the outside of the oxygen complimentary Coca-Cola products, Starbucks coffee, water juices, a variety of complimentary snacks, as well as a selection of our fresh meat items and all-day goodies. Beer, wine, and spirits are available complimentary for our first class and Delta Comfort Plus passengers.
Alright, so the clouds you're watching are the active X clouds. They look different. They look good. Actually kind of look more true to life.
Be reminded that Delta accepts only major credit or debit cards for onboard purchases of beverages and snacks. However, you can use your Delta SkyMiles American Express card to save 15% and earn double miles on all Delta purchases. For your enjoyment, each seat is equipped with your own personal entertainment system.
I'm trying to think if I'm at Teterboro here.
A selection of complimentary as well as on-demand TV shows, movies, and music. You'll find that the screen will work best with just a light tap with your fingertip. Feel free to use your own headsets. Otherwise, if you do need a headset, just let a flight attendant know they are yours complimentary for this and any future Delta flights.
See what's wrong with our flight plan. You see it right now. I'm having an issue with our heading. Oh. Sorry. Okay, I have an issue I gotta work through.
Contact Newark approach on 127.6. Switching to Newark approach on
So we're en route to Gael right now, and
climbing past 10,000 feet en route to flight level 290.
that's correct. Our speed is control.
Newark departure, good evening, altimeter 29.902.
Gael is 33. 38. Sometimes it's the little things. I'm sitting here wondering, why is it not coming back on? Why is it not coming back on? And I'm overlooking the very, very obvious. Okay, we're in the clouds.
308, Newark departure, climb and maintain flight level 300.
Climb and maintain flight level 300, Delta 308.
All right. All right, two products that are heavy in on this flight are being used the most are ActiveX and say Intentions, and I would say that they both make it quite immersive. They really do a good job. I'm impressed. Not that me being impressed is any sort of a measure, but be the judge for yourself. But it looks good. Wow, that looks good. Much better. Now, even ActiveX can get kind of funky sometimes, but this looks so much better.
Delta 308, contact New York Center on 132.6.
Switching to New York Center on 132.6, Delta 308.
Not a very technical explanation, but it does. It just looks good.
New York Center, Delta 308 evening, climbing past 16,000 for flight level 300.
If y'all want a reference point, I can give you one. Hold on.
Delta 308, New York Center, good evening, altimeter 29.94.
To give you an idea where we are right now. So, our final destination is Detroit. We're coming out of LaGuardia right here. We're 406 nautical miles from LaGuardia. I mean, from Detroit right now. This will be our entire route right there. Let's enjoy the clouds for a minute. Much better. I'm not regretting loading it back. Now it has, I don't know, it looks like clouds. Looks like it's supposed to. Right, Standard. Gotcha. Yeah, looks good. Right, let's go ahead and take care of some business here that needed to earlier. Ignition off, which it really won't hurt anything, but it's the checklist, and disarm, spoiler disarmed. And I forgot to start the chronometer clock. I'll survive. So what do you think, better or worse on the clouds? Should I keep ActiveX on and just kind of go without Xplane? I'll give Xplane a chance once they bring out a new update, beta update, but I don't. This looks great. I didn't realize what I was missing. Make sure we got our last altitude change. No, nothing new. Wow. I do like the pop-outs on the Toliss, the A321-NEO, and they do it on the A320 also. In fact, the A320, the only problem I'm having on the A320 is it's balanced much differently than the A321-NEO, and I struggle with that sometimes on getting the kind of landings that I want, like, you know, as smooth as butter. That's been an adjustment. A little artifacting going on there, but not much. That's not really artifacts. It's just a anomaly. Those are just puffy clouds. Those aren't rain clouds. That's not awful. So, when you use ActiveX, what you have to do is you let it take control of your clouds, different things, and to do that, you basically put your Xplane on custom weather, customized weather, and that's all you have to do. Once you've done that, you don't have to change anything. It does. ActiveX changes everything. Brian, are we still waiting for a clearance to climb higher than 290?
We're cleared to climb FL300, Steve.
Delta 308, ascending to flight level 300.
Delta 308, climb and maintain flight level 300.
Climb and maintain flight level 300, Delta 308.
What's our final climb altitude? I thought it was Let me see. I thought it was 370. Maybe I was wrong. On the brief. Yeah, yeah, I didn't realize that. Because earlier flight was 370, but this is on 300. Wow, that's good. Yeah, I don't think I'm going back to the native clouds. I think I'm going to stick with ActiveX. I think the reason I was anxious to get away from ActiveX was it. I had both it and XP map enhancement going, and sometimes I would have crashes, like not crashes in flight, but going trying to load the flight, and I would always have to like troubleshoot: is it ActiveX that's causing it? Is it XP maps? And it was just like exhausting. So I just when the latest update, the beta update came out, switched back and was really pleased with the first beta update that Xplane did, but I think the second one was still good. But this last one, something changed, so that's why eventually I said, "Nah, we just got to go back." And I think it looks good. I think I'm pleased. Yeah, this flight's going to go fast. We're already at 348 miles outside of Detroit. Dallas 308, can you give us an expectation for the arrival runway? I said Dallas. Delta 308, can you provide expected arrival runway, active arrival runways?
Delta 308, expect ILS approach for runway 4 right at Detroit Metro. Active arrival runways are 4 right, 3 right, 9 are left, and 3 left.
Runway 04 right, Delta 308. That's what I needed. So our arrival is coming in on 04 right. Wing it. And Jackie. Avia. Jackie. And now, since we have that, we can do our performance. And where we get that from. So we got a landing performance, a 0 for right. We are going to have brake mode is medium. Reversers, yes. Dry. And there we go. So we have a QNH of 29 or 9 or 1. Temp is 28 Celsius. Wind is 204 at 6. And decision height altitude is 300. I want to keep that up because it helps us to see when we get to our descent time. There we go. There we go. So let's see where top of descent for us is. Our ways. Okay. At 300, it's not going to take us long to descend, so we don't have to get as much of an early start. Usually, all depending on the airport or the airspace, I will set. Like in this case here, it's my home airport in Detroit, so I may set it down to 3,000 and let this descent get managed by the McDo. Wow. there's not much to do over the next 10 to 15 minutes. I think it's going to be kind of quiet. You notice when you have the heads up, the pop-outs, when you go to outside view, it goes away. Wow, that still looks really good. We're 286 miles out of Detroit. Squawking 1223 on the transponder, and TCAS is active. Even these clouds can have some, like, a little bit of a anomaly, something. Coming through the clouds there. It's crazy.
Piper 5-1 Papa, roger, ready to start? Ready to start, send Piper 5-1 Papa. Piper 8351 Papa is ready to connect, descent. Delta 308, contact New York Center on 133.35.
Contacting New York Center on 133.35. Delta 308.
That is so weird. I don't understand that.
New York Center, Delta 308, evening, maintaining flight level 300.
Delta 308, New York Center, good evening.
Delta 308, New York Center. Expect the Ferrol to arrival. In about 20 minutes, I'll start your descent. Notify if you're ready to descend before that. Direct wing T. Expect the Ferrol to arrival. Direct wing will notify if ready to descend earlier. Delta 308. Delta 308, contact Cleveland Center on 127.475. Switching to Cleveland Center on 127.475. Delta 308. Cleveland Center, Delta 308, evening, maintaining flight level 300. Delta 308, Cleveland Center, good evening.
All right. We are about 202 nautical miles outside of Detroit. We're already the preliminary things we have to do to set up for performance. We've already completed. We've got all of our information entered in our approach. What we haven't gotten yet, I need to do, just to make sure. Let's see. 29901 is it's not life and death by any stretch. It's updated. So we got the Detroit altimeter is set. We're still 88 miles from top of descent, and I don't see an urgency to get down at this point, so I'm gonna stay where we are. I'm still liking the clouds. Okay. So two primary things on this one is say intentions and the clouds. Say intentions is the ATC. And I'm still a fan of VATSIM. I just have gotten, sometimes I don't have time to get on VATSIM the way I want to, and at least say intentions gives me a little latitude, so that's why I do that. I think at about 140 to 150 we'll begin our descent. Descent. Millie, 280 knots. Or what is our ground speed? I know our ground speed. What is our miles per hour?
Our current ground speed is 431 knots. That's quite efficient for our altitude. Our ground speed is currently 431 knots, which is about 496 miles per hour. That's quite fast.
Wow. Yeah, it is. Brian, we're ready to begin our descent on the Farrell to arrival if you can get clearance.
I'll request descent on the Farrell to arrival now.
Cleveland Center, Delta 308 requesting descent on the Farrell to arrival route.
Delta 308, descend via Farrell 2 into Metro.
Descending via Farrell 2 into Metro, Delta 308.
And ladies and gentlemen, we have begun our initial descent. At this time, we ask that you kindly begin to recheck the security of your seatbelt. And if you've removed any items from the overhead bins, please begin to restow them at this time. Please check around your seating area and the seat pocket in front of you for any cups, glasses, or other articles you wish to discard. Kindly hand these items to the flight attendants as they make their way through the aisle. Thank you so much. We should be landing in approximately 15 to 20 minutes.
Everything. So, the one thing I like about a good simulation is the immersive feeling. You don't want it to feel like Roblox or something. And I will say that this it has that feeling. It's you kind of get lost in it between ATC, which is your like audio. For that matter, even Delta Virtual does a bang-up job with the flight attendants and how they interact, and the messages are straight out of a Delta textbook or handbook, so they sound great. So yeah, I'd say it gets high marks for immersiveness. I actually did use Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. Initially, I used it for a short period of time and was very disappointed with loads and everything. So eventually, I just went back to Xplane and never looked back. There's a lot going on here.
They are
I think the goal on the Wingate is to be, we've got 59 miles to get to 12,000. Also, the altitude restriction is 12,490, and that's at the Wingate waypoint. And when we get there, we'll be held for about 6 miles, and then we go to the 10,000 and then 9,000 and step down. We also have a transition to get into position for the runway, so all that means we have plenty of time to get down. I like our descent rate, the slow descent. We are 115 miles from Detroit, and we're not having to speed up or anything. We just are very steady. I like this. I think we're at about 992 feet per minute.
Delta 308, contact Toronto Center on 135.825. Switching to Toronto Center on 135.825. Delta 308. Toronto Center, Delta 308 evening. We are descending through flight level 210. 308, Toronto Center identified. Good evening.
Okay, we're at 19,000, and
What's exclusively
100 miles. 100 miles exactly. We're at 16,000. 82 nautical miles out, and we're about to have a hard stop at 10,000. Wow. 13,000.
Delta 308, Toronto Center, contact Detroit approach on 124.05.
Contacting Detroit
Slide
approach
them
on 124.05, Delta 308.
Ah.
Detroit approach, Delta 308, evening descending past 13,000.
Delta 308, Detroit approach. Good evening, Metro altimeter 29.903. Expect the ILS runway 4 right approach into Metro.
Altimeter 29.903, expecting ILS runway 4 right approach, Delta 308.
That wasn't for us, was it? I don't think. No. I love the reflections, like the, it's kind of neat. So I will say the Airbus can spoil you on some fronts, and the 737-800 I have to do more, but the 737 has prepared me more to fly the 767, because you have to do more, needs more hands-on. Right, we're monitoring here. And this is where we step, descend from here. we're in the clouds right now. So. Voila.
Why is it making me wait to set assassin correct? It's randomly giving me like not recommendation, but yeah, no, it's recommending out leads. Like he's not listening to the recommendations. I'll figure it out. I appreciate it. I already got it. I want to figure it out. Like that's the whole reason. That's actually part of the fun. Can I find a start on meetings? There we go.
All right, we're only 34 miles from the airport, but we're actually going to be traveling southwest to come back and hit 04 right. All right, we're down to 7,200. We're heading to the road waypoint road. Yeah. And then we'll be doing the transition thing over to our approach waypoints.
Delta 308, descend and maintain 3000, turn left heading 220 vectors for the ILS runway 4 right approach.
Descending to maintain 3000, turning left heading 220 for vectors to the ILS runway 4 right approach, Delta 308.
What is it? Nothing. That's not the words you want to hear in the cockpit. What is it? That's good. That's where to get.
Delta 308, turn right heading 250.
Turning right heading 250, Delta 308.
Delta 308, 6 miles from E-tail. Turn right heading 330. Descend and maintain 2000 until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS runway, 4 right approach.
Right heading 330. Descend and maintain 2000 until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS runway, 4 right approach. Delta 308.
Delta 308, contact Metro Tower on 135.0.
Contact Metro Tower on 135.0, Delta 308. Metro Tower, Delta 308, evening. We're established on the ILS approach for runway 4 right.
Delta 308, Metro Tower, wind 070 at 10, runway 4 right, cleared to land.
Cleared to land runway 4 right, wind 070 at 10, Delta 308.
Coming down to 145. We're on dual cat. Looking good. Alright, it's a good flight. It's been good so far, but gotta stick the landing, as they say. It was a 10 up until the landing.
100 above. 300. Minimum.
Hit our minimum.
200.
Come on, we need a good flare.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10. Retard. 5. Retard. 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 Delta 308, welcome to Metro. Contact ground on 132.725.
Switching to ground on 1. Metro ground Delta 308. Evening. We've cleared runway 4 right and are ready to taxi.
With your seatbelt securely fastened until the captain has parked the aircraft at the gate and turned off the seatbelt
Delta
sign.
308, Metro ground, taxi
This will
to
be your
parking by
one
Yankee
and
5
only
Kilo 5 Kilo
indication that it's
Bravo.
safe for you to
Cross
get
runway
up
9er
and
left,
move about
then
the
uniform
cabin.
9er. Have a good day.
Please be reminded to use caution when
Taxi
opening
to
the
parking
overhead
via
bins.
Yankee 5 Kilo 5 Kilo Bravo. Cross runway 9er left, then uniform 9er. Delta 308.
You may now use your mobile phones and other handheld electronic devices while we taxi to the gate. However, your laptop computers and larger electronics must remain stowed. We invite you to visit delta.com for all your future travel needs, including checking in for a flight and managing your SkyMiles account. If any of you should have questions regarding ground transportation, baggage claim, or any other information, a uniform Delta agent meeting this flight will be more than happy to answer any questions you may have. On behalf of the Delta Sky team, our global partners, and flight crew, we'd like to thank you all for flying with us. We've enjoyed having you on board and look forward to the opportunity to serve you once again. Thank you so much and have a wonderful evening. Flight attendants, prepare doors for arrival, please. Cross-check and all call.
Had a landing touchdown of 121 feet per minute. That's awesome. Great. Slight bounce, 10 feet per minute. Okay, so let's watch. at stable approach. Wow, that's good, man. Thanks for hanging out for a little bit today. Nice soft landing. All right. See y'all in the next one.